Great to be back. Things and stuff, right? Things and stuff. That's what we're looking forward to today. Bum 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 bum. Gamestop's on its way back, guys. $2. It's up $2 pre-market. For those of you that were hanging out with me yesterday in the Discord, it was an absolute blast to watch GameStop do what it did. I am not an ape. Full disclosure on that. I am holding a put against GameStop into January. I've had it since February when it broke 300. I am continuing to hold it. We shall see what we shall see today. Given the state of the market as a whole, I don't expect GameStop to break trend by any means. But is everything going to be okay? For me, it is. This is something that you guys all need to come to terms with. And Martini was having a conversation with this before she left, guys. There are really three things that you can do in order to. There are three things that you can do when something like this happens. You can play the short side. You can remove yourself from the market entirely, or you can diamond hands through it to the other side. Each of them has their pros and cons. You need to come to your own conclusions as to what it's going to be. As for me in my house, I'm going to diamond hands like I do. Currently opening the portfolio this morning. It is down 35%, which still has me up 20% on the year, but I am down 35% so far. Waiting on Medica, waiting on SNDL. Now, there was positive news for pot, but it's not yet legal in New York. SNDL is just waiting to drop PR. I think that they are waiting for the market to start getting a little less negative to drop that positive news, but we will see what we will see. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to open up marbles here so we are ready to roll. Now, guys, understand that me saying I am choosing to hold through this is not financial advice. I am not a financial professional. These are my personal finances. You guys need to make your own decisions. If you don't know what to do in this crisis, then seek out a financial advisor who's accredited, who has your best interests at heart. But honestly, guys, I am not sweating any of the positions that I'm in. It's not like I'm in a dozen positions. I'm in a handful of positions. Again, Zomedica starts at sales next week. FTOC, I think Payoneer is going to be strong into the year. FinTech is going to continue to be strong, especially as digital currencies continue to grow. SNDL is into legalized pot in the States, a massive market just south of us. They have WANA. They're tied to the U.S. market, distribution, supply chain, medical, recreational. They're all over the place with it. Branded products, edibles, vapes, you name it, they've got it. So I'm fine with SNDL holding it. And then SHG, guys, is a medical play into the States as Biden care or a rehashed Obamacare gets into play. So I'm not going anywhere on my plays. Know your portfolio, do the DD, do the DD, and do what you're going to do, right? So as far as my options portfolio, everything that I've got are leaps or options as far as I can possibly get them. So there are a few that I had to take into September because that's the furthest out that I can possibly get them. The rest of them are leaps into January of next year or February of the following year. If your portfolio be dying, know that that's not you alone. That's pretty much everybody's equity portfolio anyway is dying, unless you're in a short portfolio. So. How likely? It's very likely, given how strong. Good morning, everybody. Given how strong Biden is on um, leaning into union support, expect infrastructure to be a high priority. Unions love it when you start spending money in infrastructure because that means that union workers get their paychecks. Um, all right, I'm just going to open this up so that you guys can join in on it. Yeah, you guys can hit exclamation mark play. We're not going to run it until 9:20. Get everybody a chance to get in here. I if I had more capital, I would be putting it into Zomedica, given the timeline on the catalyst. I'm down almost $1 a share on it. I would definitely be buying more if I had the capital. What was that? Keep forgetting that I set up this RSS feed to drop me that audio cue. I do love all the conjecture out there, guys. So this got I knew right away it was a Motley Fool article. So it fell 10% on Tuesday. Here's why Motley Fool thinks that it fell. After such a massive move, many investors apparently decided to take profits upon news. So this is the best that they've got. Is apparently this is what happened. Oh, really? That's what happened? Okay, cool. Solid insight, man. Tier 1 investor. Solid insight. Motley Fool continues to be unimpressive. Yeah, I don't know who's paying for it, but all right, guys. GameStop is up $2 pre-market here. So for the week, let's just pull back here. Remember, guys, pulling back is a great way to get perspective on what's happening here instead of looking at the pre-market. Even though the pre-market is $2, I will give all of the apes in chat and lurking about. It's up $2. It is green. However. We started the week at over $200. We are now at 122. So just put that into your consideration. The high on the week was 218. 120 right now. So it's got to go a lot further than that. It's got a lot of ground to make up. Pre-market, anything else that's green? SPPI, Shroom is green, Units green. Zomedica is down, SNDL is down, FTOC is down, SHG is down. So we down. It'll be interesting to see what happens post Suez Canal. SNDL are buying GME stock? I really, really hope not. I really hope not. My hope is that SNDL are going to buy Curaleaf or Gram F in the States. That would be fantastic. That's what I'm waiting for, is on the press release. Again, guys, my FA has not changed, and that is what I am sticking to. I'm not playing anybody else's strategies. There's a lot of people out there that are saying you should sell, you should do this, you should do that. I don't care how you would trade my portfolio. I'm going to trust my DD. If there's one thing that I've learned over the past year, is when I see something, I'm often right. And the number of times that I had lots of wins over last year, but there were a lot of wins that I missed out on because I allowed other people to say, well, maybe you weren't right about this one. And then sure enough, a week later or 2 weeks later, the thing skyrocketed. And had I just held, I would have been correct because I didn't wait for the catalyst that I knew was coming. So as for me, I am going to trust the DD that I've done. I don't put in these hours for nothing studying these companies. I've taken some feedback of, well, your portfolio is down 38%. Shouldn't you have exited and gotten back in? And isn't that the better way to go? Maybe, but that's not what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I trust the FA on the plays that I've got. Are there portfolios with plays that I might be exiting right now? Yeah, if I had anything in the oil sector, for sure. Are you going to sell Zomedica at the end of the month and buy back in for May 10th? I am not. I am going to wait and hold Zomedica until I see what it does. I want to see the sales. What's my strat for managing risk? So I open up my portfolio and I go, okay, last year I started with $2,000. I currently have a market value of 70,000 US dollars. I'm green. Even if we just do this year, I started this year with 50 grand. I'm at 69,000. I'm green on the year. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not in a rush. I don't need this money to survive. The money that's in here, I'm fine holding it. I'm still up 20 grand on the year. Like, all right, right? Now, that's not true for everybody. There's a lot of people out there that I'm seeing that have spent their stimmy checks. They've got rent coming due. They've got all kinds of stuff that they need to pay for, and they're putting money into the market, and it's bleeding them out. Please, 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 I beg of you. I beg of you. Really seek out a financial advisor, because if you are putting every last dime you have into the market, whether it's meme stocks, whether it's crypto, whatever, and it's continuing to decline, those moratoriums on rent and mortgage are coming due. If you can't afford to pay your bills when those moratoriums come to an end, I'm genuinely concerned for you. So I would say seek out financial advice. Home Depot is going to continue to be a huge, huge player. Home Depot, Lowe's, any of the home repair, home construction, as we head into spring and summer, it's going to boom. People are going to be building up their house. They are. Real world assets is something that a lot of financial advisors are putting out. Please, guys, put the first things first. If you are in debt, pay off your debts. If you have mortgage or rent that you have been not paying because of moratoriums, please start considering how you're going to pay that off. Not on credit, not on debt. Please don't do it. Please seek out a financial advisor to look at your situation and what you have, what you're doing. Most financial institutions will provide that to you, whether you are rich or poor. There are some of the better ones you need to pay for, but you can at least walk into any bank, show them what you've got, and they'll give you at least some kind of a strategy of what to do. So please, please, please know your portfolio, know your financial standing, and make decisions wisely off of that, okay? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 9:20, so let's do a little marbles. If you're not in, you've got about 10 seconds to get in here, ladies and gents. But here, we go. I think a lot of you just missed it. I had it up for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys, if you missed it. Who knows? Maybe everybody. I don't think everybody will get cucked on this one. This looks like a pretty like simple Marble Works one. Round and round we go. Where we stop? Oh, Millennial's in second. Uh-oh. Here comes Millennial. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's interesting that it doesn't say Frico Rico's in first, given that he's like that far ahead. It refuses to acknowledge him as the winner. There's no boost, guys. I think once you have that lead, you have that lead. Is there anywhere here where you could get stopped out, cucked out? I don't really see a chance of you losing this lead here. Maybe here, if these things pop, but here he comes. Here he comes. No mercy. Does he get popped? Oh, those things don't even pop. It's just flat. Frico Rico takes that win. What are we watching, Frico? Pog? Okay, we're watching Pog going into the market, guys. Pog being, of course, guys, the well-known Canadian stock Harrison Petrol. Yeah, we can watch IPOF, man, for sure. Voila. IPOF. Let's go to 2 days. Yeah, I mean, it's back down around that $10. I mean, everybody's kind of quiet right now. Breath being held. China animosity is there. We're going to get back into that. Whoever remembers under Trump, the anticipation around China negotiations. We're going to go back into that, especially with China speaking out against Canada, speaking out. What are the interest rates on Canada these days? I think it's 2.5%, 3%. Not crazy. Canada prime rate. Yeah, it's 2.45, and then typically you'll see a bank tacking on 1 or 1.5% to that. So you're looking at 3-4%. China's just taking swipes, right? They're taking swipes at Apple, they're taking swipes at Nike, they're taking swipes at Disney. Anything Canadian, they're taking swipes at with the espionage case. So it's interesting, guys. It really is interesting. Yeah, exactly. If there was a SPAC that had Stripe, holding through would, in my mind, make sense. Which is why I am continuing to hold FTOC. I'm confident that Payoneer, whether in the short term or long term, will pay off. Now, as far as like what does that do for this target? You set this 500K target. I'm not going to just make moves striving for a 500K target at the risk of blowing it all up. That's stupidity. So I will trade the way that I trade, and hopefully I can hit that target by doing that. That being said, it may just start to be a bull market, in which case I may not be able to make that target this year. That may not be possible. That's something I have to consider. But I'm not really sweating it. I'm gonna trust the due diligence that I've done. I put in the hours, I put in the work. I like the plays that I'm in. I'm gonna continue to be there. Bear market, sorry. I say bull. Um, it's the year of the bull. Wouldn't want some bears to ruin it. I mean, it could have been year of the bull. It's looking less and less like it's gonna be. Um, I don't. I think Wall Street Bets is going to lose some membership if GameStop doesn't start turning around. I think there's an awful lot of people that took their stimulus checks. Are everybody's been taking the pounding. Everybody. Um, yeah, it is the Chinese Year of the Bull. That's true. I think you're going to see a lot of Wall Street Bets Redditors slowly trickling away from the platform if GameStop doesn't recover. If the promises of we the apes do something together and it produces results, I think there's an awful lot of people that are entry level workers or workers in QSR, workers in, and I'm not saying there aren't whales in there. I know that there are whales in there, but there's an awful lot of people that are living paycheck to paycheck, neck deep in debt, that took their stimmies to Wall Street Bets and put it on GameStop because of promises of wealth and fortune. And there's a really high risk that that money is gone for them. It's gone. So when does the moratorium in the U.S. come to an end? Moratorium on evictions deadline. National eviction moratorium now goes to March 31st, so at the end of this month. Hours after inauguration, he extended it to March 31st. When the moratorium ends, people say state by state. This is the federal, so this is the federal level moratorium. There are state by state rulings for sure, and I'm going to give that to you guys. But at the federal level, the protection at the federal level, that moratorium ends. It was originally supposed to end January 31st. It is now ending March 31st. So that's the federal eviction. And we can look at some of the big states out there as far as population goes. New York moratorium on evictions. The deadline on this one is May 1st. If we go to LA is June 30th. So LA's got a lot of time. LA's got until June, but May 1st is not that far away, guys. It's a month away. Do I think prices of gold and silver slowly come up? I think we see a lot of, until we start to see some positive movement or market stability from somewhere, I think we see a lot of sideways movement. The ups are going to be on catalyst alone, and this is where you really have to dial into your DD, guys. You have to see a catalyst, I think. My stock scanner parameter settings. I can show you the scanners that I've got. I don't use these to find plays. I just use these to gauge the market and where the top growth is, where the unusual volume is by sector. I don't actually pull plays out of these scanners. The plays that I pull are from headline, social sentiment, trending, news. These scanners, guys, I use these to understand what's moving to the upside and see if I can identify any patterns in that. And then from that, all of you guys that hang out here, you know that I'm regularly doing due diligence based off of tickers that you guys actually suggest. So let's open up the Evernote here. I haven't taken daily notes in a while just because I haven't taken a play. I have done literally nothing with my portfolio. So taking notes every day saying I took no trades, I took no trades, I took no trades. I'll start taking daily notes again once I've got those trades or once I start taking trades again. But yeah, with Evernote, guys, what we have been updating is the stocks to watch list. And so if and when I can identify that a sector is about to run, I do have a long list of plays here that I actually really like. So now some of these I have to go in every day and okay, I think this is, I like that one. This one I like, this one I like, this one I like, this one I like. No, 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 no. Already got that on the board. No, 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 no. Oh, no, I like BLGO. No, 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 no. Government contracts. That is something that I have started doing, Freako Rico. I've started putting $1,000 a month into Ethereum. The coin itself, not a trust, not a miner. So that is something I have started to do, is diversify into holding the actual IPOF. Okay. Sundial Growers enters $800 million sale pact. Wait, this is from March 20. This is from today? This is breaking down the what they put out a week ago. Okay, so this is not new news. It's being listed as new news on the prospectus. The dip on Mara is wild. Probably not a good time to buy crypto. Let me check how my Ethereum's doing. I can't pull this one up because it's on a mobile trading app here in Canada. Yeah, I'm down 12.75% on my Ethereum. But again, guys, Ethereum is a long-term hold. I will just continue adding into Ethereum, regardless of where it is. Miners are dying. Bitcoin's dying. I wonder how gold is doing. Let's open up the watch list. SPY is not really going anywhere. It's just kind of lurking. Zomedica bought back up to 154, so that's not terrible. It's green on the day at least. Gamestop is up a whopping $5, $6. But yeah, guys, where's Mara at right now? Mara's $30. That's a great dip to be able to grab, in my opinion. Hut is another one that's a Canadian crypto that I was looking at. Pretty stoked for that. So it's nice to see that coming back down to 7. It was up at 10.
I told you about that video idea I had on the weekend or whatever about the doing lap.
Yeah.
I went on Reddit's like YouTubers asked like, does anybody know if this is against TOS or whatever? If I blur out their names and do the victory lap or whatever, and they're like, no, just don't like do any call to action against them or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, no, that's kind of a given. And then a couple of the detractors just like, well, if you don't care, like, then why are you doing this, right? And I'm like, I've literally said everything that's need to be said on the subject, and the subject's kind of gone dry unless you want me to repeat myself constantly. Like, honestly, I thank you for your concern, but I really don't care. These are people I don't know. And it's just like, well, you seem to be, since you're going to dedicate the entire video to it. Maybe you should just make more high quality videos and like blah blah. The whole value argument, right? Like adding value and all that sort of shit. And like, see, this goes into. I was like, this goes into the argument of what people want to watch versus what I see it perceive as value. People want to watch Jerry Springer. People want to watch recouts and stuff like that.
I told you so's are going to get a ton of engagement to the negative, and you're aware of that, and that's part of the strategy, so that's fine. Guys, this is Redemption on call. He's a fellow Canadian trader. He trades TA largely. He's got a great YouTube channel. Redemption, if you're in the Twitch chat, you can throw that in there.
I don't promote my channel. I'm good.
I do.
God damn it.
So go ahead and throw that in there. He's got some great videos in there, guys. Right now, guys, go ahead and put an F in chat if your portfolio's down this morning. There it is. Saki's got it. Go ahead and put an F in chat, guys, if your portfolio is down this morning. Okay. Now, everybody, absolutely everybody that's throwing an F in here, I'm going to ask you 3 questions that I think you need to be able to answer. 1 is, what's your edge? 2, what's your trading methodology? 3, are you scared? Those are rhetorical questions. You don't have to answer those in chat, but consider those things. If you don't know your edge, you don't know how you trade, that's a big, scary sign. If you know those two things and you're still scared, I would recommend that you go back to 1 and 2. If you don't know what your edge is, that means that you need to start learning like crazy. That is crucial before you start anything. A trading methodology, learning how to trade, what you're going to trade, TA, FA, QFA. Like, guys, there's so many pieces to this moving puzzle. But buy the dip and let it rip, no fear. See, okay, there are some people that have those gung-ho strategies, and that's great because that's their trading methodology. But each of us needs to have our own, okay? So the reality is, if you don't know what your edge is in the market, please start reading. There's a list that I used to make my trading methodology. That is not an extensive, exhaustive list. There are lots of resources out there. Great YouTube videos like Guys from Redemption on the TA side. Martini has all kinds of great videos on the FA side, okay? So if you don't know what your edge is, please start reading, learning, and growing. Your trading methodology. If somebody asks, how do you trade? Oh, I just trade whatever stock he trades, or I just trade whatever DFV trades, or I just trade whatever Buffett trades. That's, first of all, that trading methodology isn't your own. It belongs to someone else, and that gives you no edge. All that is you trying to mimic their edge. And that's not the same thing. So please just take that into consideration, guys. There are some great books for you to figure that out. Trading in the Zone is a really, really great book for defining edge. And then, yeah, that list is there, guys, with tons of great reads for you to figure out. But please, please, please beware. I just want everybody that is a little bit scared, a little bit fearful here to realize that you have plenty of options. If you're self-managing your portfolio and you're scared and you can't answer those questions, start learning. It's going to get rid of a lot of that fear. If you aren't self-managing your portfolio and somebody else has your portfolio, you know, it's in a mutual fund or you've got an investment broker or you've got a bank that's managing it for you, I'd contact your bank and I would stay in communication with them to see how they are adapting in the face of what the market's currently doing. And if they have answers that put you at ease, then great. I would still recommend that you do some learning to better understand the responses that you're getting from them. But ultimately, guys, I don't think that... I mean, we can pull up the SPY again, okay? So, as always, guys, when you see fear like this, you have to really consider what's going on. And for me to throw out that adage of greedy when fearful, fearful when greedy, that's not going to do anybody any good if you don't understand why that is, okay? But let's move to the SPY, okay? So, here's the SPY over 2 days. Oh no, Millennial, the whole thing is falling. Look at this chart. This is 2 days by the minute, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go 5 days, okay? Pull back. Millennial, it's still down on the 5 days. Oh no, what am I going to do? This is terrible. 10 days. Oh, look at it. It's still bleeding after 10 days, Millennial. You lied to me. It's all terrible. It's a bear market. Okay, well, this is a month. We're not on the high of the month, but we sure as heck aren't on the low. Okay, let's go 3 months. Well, on the 3 months, we're not actually looking that bad. This looks like a level of support for the SPY, right? What about we look at 6 months? Oh, okay, on 6 months, we're actually doing really well. Let's go a year. Yeah, I mean, we're looking really good on a year, right? How about 2 years? Yeah, I mean, we had this little dip here, but I mean, ultimately, if I'm going to be one of those line drawers, right? I'll just grab this and I'll go here and I'll go. It looks like an upwards trending line to me. For those of you that like your lines, let's go 3 years. Yeah, I would say that's still an upwards trending line. Maybe we go 5 years. Yeah, that's still looking pretty good to me. And 10 years? Questions? This is the value of pulling back and actually looking at the big picture instead of just immediately pulling the trigger. So when do we eat? That's where your trading methodology has to come into play, guys. So let's go back to, if you're a day trader, right? And your trading methodology is, hold Hold on, let me clear the chart here. If you're a day trader, right? If you're somebody who is a day trading strategy and your edge is identifying that SPY is in a downward trend, there's a lot of TA stuff, guys. This is not what I subscribe to. That's not my strategy. So please feel free to correct me when I say something that sounds silly. But SPY is showing itself in a downward trend. It's declining currently. There's negative news. The Suez Canal, yada, yada, yada. The market is not sure of itself. The fear index is off the scale. It's declining. Look at it go. No. If you're a day trader with a long strategy, you need to start adapting and learning and evolving, or you need to start understanding that you're going to hurt for a little while and you may go hungry for a bit. Those are kind of your choices. Play it to the downside or don't. That's a day trader, right? Swing trader, you can pull out to a month, 3 months, Well, I mean, it's down a little bit, but it's not necessarily I'm running for the hills kind of thing, right? I'm not really sweating this. This looks like a hold to me if I'm a swing trader, in my opinion. If I'm a longer term trader on a year, I'm pretty happy right now, right? I'm feeling pretty good. What about 2 years? Like I'm doing all right. If I'm a long-term portfolio, I'm a young guy. I'm early 20s again, and I've got all of life ahead of me, and I'm thinking about 10 years from now. I'm not sweating this at all. So just be aware of how you trade, what you trade, and why you trade it, guys. That's all I'm saying. Are there perfectly legitimate reasons to exit the market right now? Sure there are. Absolutely. There are plenty of people that will make more money than me by simply exiting. However, well, that's weird. My portfolio is up on the day. Weird. But this too shall pass. In the past month, I have watched this portfolio go from being down 28% to up 10% to down 35%. Like, it's all over the place. That's why I'm not sweating it. It's all about the catalysts. Hit that sauna. Hit that sauna, Saki. All right. So that's it. That's my spiel on that. I'm not going to, kick a dead horse. But that's there. So what we're looking at today, guys, let's take a look at the news out the gate, see what's going on. Viacom is lower on a downgrade. NASDAQ, Dow Jones, S&P falls. Bearish tilt continues. Red Hills Biopharma, Sundial. Again, this is not news. This is rehashing an article about a prospectus that was dropped last week, so I'm not really sure why he's dropping that again, but there that is. Amazon is getting thousands of NFL products after a streaming deal. That's kind of cool. Good news for Amazon. Winklevoss twins invest in an NFT startup as Wall Street bets on non-fungible tokens. So a lot of news about NFT, guys. Pilgrim's Pride. This is for my AQB play, understanding where we are for a global meat shortage. I wonder if I Google that right now, what comes up. Global meat shortage news. %20 drop in exports on meat. Australian cattle herd shrink. Frozen poultry meat market has been derived. Costco saying it's facing an imported cheese shortage. So there's food shortages. There's food shortages everywhere. So homegrown meat, like AQB for me, is a play that I'm eyeing very, very seriously. Let's see what else we got here. Ford invested in the electric future. This is nothing new. We know that Ford is looking to be a serious player in the EV sector. At least they're willing to spend money. Who knows if they're successful in that. Ford's pricing model has long been their issue, where they are overpriced, and the strongest part of their sales used to be that it was an affordable car for the everyday man. And then somewhere along the way, they decided that an affordable car was 60 grand. So this is interesting, guys. So Kathy Woods, you guys know who she is? Everybody? Anybody not know who Kathy Woods is before we move forward? Nobody. Okay. So guys, with Cathie Woods, the lady who tanked the market yesterday. No, she's the lady who built the ARC portfolios, guys. Wicked smart lady, knows what she's doing. She's building portfolios for long-term gains. Look at what she's doing right now versus what the market's doing. Okay, so a lot of people, retail investors, even some hedge funds, what are they doing? They're selling, right? They're selling left, right, and center. What is Cathie Woods doing? She's got her shopping list out. She's buying. She's buying. She recognizes the opportunity that is the market at this moment. She knows that trillions of dollars of stimulus are flooding into the market as we speak. We're coming out of the winter. We are coming into spring, summer. She knows that there's going to be growth in the market into the summer. She knows that crises like the Suez Canal are going to be resolved in a week, which is going to show a market recovery. She knows that the positions that she's in, Tencent, Palantir, Tesla, anything that she's holding, she holds because she sees the potential that they are leaders in the industry into 5, 10, 15 years. She's not running scared on the market movement of a week or a day. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to deny that there are a ton of retail traders that are just taking it. Oh, that didn't post. Oh, it did post. Okay. Hey, Zemetica. Dun, 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 dun. Zemetica is green. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, guys, there's just something to. Ooh, that's important to note. New York cannabis is not favorable to multi-state operators. So people that have operations across the U.S., so California, New Jersey, Colorado, New York, it's not going to be good for them. So small local businesses are going to take priority over MSOs. So this is what I would like to see out of that. Well, Curaleaf is an MSO, but they're based out of New Jersey, so they're pretty close to New York. But this is saying that the issuance of licenses in New York is going to be focused on small businesses that are New York based. So, yeah, that is good. What I kind of want to see is, what I kind of want to see is I would like to see SNDL use their money to buy into franchises in the major sectors for this. LA, New York, Colorado. I want to see SNDL spending their money in those places. Am I still holding SHG? Yeah. It's sub-dollar and you don't get why? You and me both, brother. They've done everything well. Their next earnings will shake things up. If anything, for me, it's a buy the dip. Do I still have CIDM? I do not. I am not holding CIDM. No. Contemplative Skies, thanks for the follow. Guys, as always, to the hoop as well, thank you for the follow. If you guys are new to the stream, I'd love to know what you trade, how you found the stream. It helps me make sure that I'm bringing value to you guys day after day after day. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere on SHG, guys. It's really, really solid. Yeah, I saw the article about the SEC taking a look at SPACs. I don't think that that's a bad thing. A lot of times people say, okay, well, regulation is always a bad thing for something. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of these SPACs Not to name names, but let's name names. Ackman's, it's PTSH, I believe. That thing is running over and over and over again on him fluffing the stock. Oh, we might buy this. Oh, we might buy that. Oh, we might buy this. Oh, we might buy that. I think that crap has to stop. I think if you're going to make an announcement as somebody who's the head of a SPAC, you need to file some kind of an 8K stating that you have an actual intent to acquire. This using the headlines to pump SPACs, that has to stop. Crypto miners EV with a focus on hydrogen fuel minerals and focus on EV battery needs. Nice, man. I understand that people are like, oh, freedom of speech, you should be able to do that. I agree, but I think there are also limits that should be placed on, and I mean, we do place limits on this already in the market, right? You can't be the CEO of a company and come out and tell people, you can't buy a whole bunch of shares and then come out and tell people news that nobody else knew. It's insider trading to some extent, right? We do have rules that regulate what you can and cannot say as a CEO of a company. I don't think SPACs should be exempt from that. I think SPACs should be held accountable for what their CEO has to say as far as an acquisition goes. It's just that simple for me. So guys like Chamath, that when they make an announcement, they file an 8K. I think that's appropriate. If you file an 8K saying we're or an LOI, right? You file a letter of intent to enter talks for a merger. What do I make of Chamath? Snake oil or legit? From a SPAC perspective, I would say legit. So you have to realize that the job of the SPAC is to find investors to put a pool of money together and then identify a company that has solid potential, acquire that company with the SPAC, and go to market. Now, after that's done and the SPAC is resolved and now they are the new company, the burden of that company succeeding falls on the company itself. That's not on Chamath. So there are a bunch of Chamath ones. So what do we have? IPO-A was Virgin Galactic, right? So space. 10 years from now, is Virgin Galactic going to be around? Who knows? But Virgin Galactic, for anybody that was in at $10, has made them money. That's legit. He did a good job. IPO-B, Open Doors, right? I believe this was Open Door. Yeah, Open Door. Okay, so where is Open right now? Come in, sweetie. Hello. What do you think? Stock market up or down? Up today. Green day. Is Daddy going to make money or lose money?
Make money.
I'm going to make the money. Well, there you go, guys. See? You don't have to worry. It's not just that. It's that they are just doing this really, really... it shows that they're dedicating man hours to SPACs. So, mwah, love you. Off you go. Everybody's happy that you set up. Go, go, go. Open Door, guys. If we look at Open Door since it IPO'd or SPAC'd, if you were in at $11, this thing is at $20. You doubled. I would say that's legit. I think Chamath did a good job. IPOC. This is Clover Health, right? Yeah, this is Clover Health. So here's one, Clover Health, where it SPAC'd at the 10. When it became it ran to 17, and then the SEC inquiry was there. I mean, to each their own. You got to form your own strategy for sure, Jacob. I wouldn't recommend it. They just like things that are shiny. I am still in Zomedica. Yep, I have not gone anywhere on it. I'm still holding it. Until my FA comes through and I see their initial sales listing, I am not going anywhere on it. Now there's a lot of rumor going around about a potential acquisition. Which is interesting as well, because I think if it gets acquired, it'll get acquired for $6 to $8. Would you buy in more? If I had capital, yes, I would be buying it. Yeah. Clove was going to run until Hindenburg. That's right. It got a short report and then the SEC inquiry. So if anything for me, I think that this is supposed to be up here around the $17.50, $20 mark. And the fact that it is down at $7.11 is a phenomenal buy the dip opportunity, in my opinion. Now, does this make Chamath a snake oil salesman because this stock did this? Hell no. Look at this. $10. You bought in at $10. It SPAC'd. It went to $17.50. He did his job. You made money, right? However, this is shorts and this is SEC inquiry. This is not on Chamath. You can't do anything about this. This is the people running the company. This is not the people that are running the SPAC. Okay, so IPOD, they're talking AutoGrid for that. It's an EV sector play. IPOD right now is $10. Given how IPO A, B, and C turned out on SPAC, are you guys interested in IPOD? Now, again, past performance is not indicative of future results, but given what you have seen and given the track record that Chamath has as a SPAC head, would you be interested in IPOD at $10? Goes to 17, that's a 40% gain, right? No, that's not right. It's more than that. 60% gain? 70% gain? Like, IPOF is supposed to be something in the fintech sector. We don't know what. It's $10. Right? It's $10. Oh, but Millennial, everything's going down. Right. But we're looking at the big boys, and what are the big boys doing? They're buying up. They're buying up everything that they can get their hands on. It's just like Hare said, they have their shopping list out, and now's the time. They're in there, and they're dropping cash, and they're buying things up. FTOC, $10.50 right now. My average on FTOC is $14 almost, $13.86. Am I worried about FTOC? No, I'm not. If I pull up, so let's look at some other ones, and it's not necessarily, it's not apples to apples, and I know that, right? But PayPal, let's look at where PayPal is. Okay, 232. Let's take a look at Square. Where's Square? 208. Let's take a look at, anybody think of any other online payment apps similar to Square or PayPal that I can put in here? Visa, 208. MasterCard. Is MasterCard M? No, that's Macy's. Stripe, I don't think it's IPO'd yet. I don't think Stripe is IPO'd. Venmo, is Venmo publicly traded? Venmo is not publicly traded. Stripe is not publicly traded. PayPal owns Venmo. Okay, so. But like Square, PayPal, MasterCard. MC is MasterCard? Is that what it is? MC, MAC? What the hell is MasterCard's ticker? MA. 358 on MasterCard, right? Like, okay, so, no, M is Macy's. Yeah, it's MA. Okay, so, like, take a look at these payment profiles, right? MasterCard just made a deal with Payoneer, where MasterCard, there will be a MasterCard where you can directly spend from your Payoneer account on the MasterCard, right? Guys, looking at where these levels are, okay? PayPal, Square, MasterCard, Visa. Let's say, hypothetically, that Payoneer is the dredges, the absolute worst company in the entire sector and has no value whatsoever other than it being this tiny rinky-dink operation in Southeast Asia, okay? Let's say it's worth a tenth of what the average is on these. That's $24. I'm going to double on my position. So should I sell now that it's down to 10? I don't think so. Like, and that's just my opinion. So I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. What I'm trying to share is what my thought process is, how I logically break this down, right? I am not seeing, like, I open up this portfolio right now, guys, And I'm not seeing it where it is. I'm looking at the plays, I'm looking at the due diligence and the hours that I put in. I'm looking on the catalyst and I'm going, okay, in my mind, the catalyst on this is FTOC becomes Payoneer. I know that's happening. It's a question of when, not if. So when that happens, what do I see the potential on FTOC being? I don't see this as a $10 stock or a $14 stock. I see it as a 25 plus stock. In which case, am I going to sell it at 10? No. And you know me well enough that anything about float size, market share, and none of that's going to matter to me whatsoever. It just doesn't matter to me. Any kind of valuation on any of these stocks doesn't really matter to me because I've set my own price target in my head. I see this thing at 25. I do. Now, Millennial, it becomes Payoneer, and 2 weeks later, it's only at $18. Okay. If it's at $18, I made 40%. That's a good trade. Zomedica, they've never sold a product in their life ever. They're now starting to sell products. They need to make $32 million to cover the cost of production, R&D, and marketing for the next year off of their initial sales. I wonder, they've got 67 million cash in hand. They don't need to make any money. They could not make a penny for 2 more years and they'll be fine. But if they can completely cover the cost of their entire business for a full year off of initial sales, what do I think Zomedica is worth? $8 to $10. Once people buy these systems, they've got to keep buying the cartridges. It's a cash cow. They keep making money. People have to keep coming back to them. It's $8 to $10. In my mind, that's where I see it. Now, what if it goes to 5 and not 8 to 10? Okay, I double. I make 50 grand on the play. I'm not going anywhere. SNDL, pot sector. They've got $700 million and no debt into an emerging legal pot market across the US. I think it's only a matter of time when you see that shipping pot across borders, Canada to US, is not going to be an issue. It'll be at your duty-free store, there'll be a dispensary as you cross the border. How crazy is that? You go to get on your flight and you pop an edible. Oh, that's crazy talk, Millennial. Is it? 2 years? I don't know. You tell me. For me, I see the potential. No debt, 700 million cash in hand. I'm good with that. They need one headline. So-and-so acquired this. GME up $19. Just all of a sudden. At 10 a.m. spike. And now we'll watch it decline back down throughout the day. Let's go here. Okay, so yesterday it declined at the gate and then bought up around 10 a.m. and then declined, and then we saw buy up over lunch, and then it declined into the end of the day. Here we saw a decline at the gate, buy up around 10 a.m. Now, granted, this is a buy up back to this 150 level, and then what happens? Could you explain how you go about setting a price target for a company? Yeah, I can definitely do that. So, if I take a look at, let's do SHG because that's the only one that I haven't really talked about. Okay, so SHG is a company that owns multiple clinics that are profitable clinics. That's their growth strategy, is they only buy clinics that are profitable. Okay, for me, with SHG, what I'm looking at is, okay, we're going into a season where the US government is looking to just pour money into things. Especially healthcare. So for me, this one is, I look at this and go, okay, well, this is a chain of clinics. Most successful biopharma companies are somewhere in the $10 to $15 range when they are young. What's up, Cybot? When they are young. When they are young, they range in the $10 to $15 range. Right now, this is sitting at a dollar something, sub a dollar Canadian, so like 80 cents US. I think as we continue to see them adapt, evolve, Biden care comes in, that catalyst is going to cause this thing to come towards its actual price, which is $10 to $15 in my mind. Now, that comes off of a lot of experience in the biosector and seeing what happens to successful healthcare companies. I spent a year trading bio, so that's how I kind of figure that one out. Only thing I don't like about SNDL is that I think there will be a big glut of weed as all weed companies prepare for legalization. So yes, I think there's going to be an abundance of weed, which is why when you're looking at a pot company, you want to see something that's diverse. You want to see something that has access to edibles, smokables, vapes, right? You want to have them solid across those. You want them to have high terpene count. They know what they're growing, that it's got high potency, but you also want to see something that's investing in the sector as a whole, which is what the good news was from SNDL in their $100 million investment with SAF. So they put $100 million up. SAF is putting $100 million up, and the two of them together are investing in the industry as a whole as an investment portfolio. So if the entire sector does well, Sundial does well. Okay, they've got Indiva, which owns Wana, which is an American producer. They've got edibles with chocolate. They've got vape. They've got their own grow. They've got branded products. The only thing that they're really missing is some form of attachment to the U.S. sector as far as distribution or paraphernalia. And I think there's a lot of opportunity with $700 million to buy something in the US that's showing potential. With New York about to open up, if I'm SNDL, I'm looking to make deals in New York State immediately. I am looking to buy up something that sees that. So for me, I look at other pot companies like ACB, CGC. We'll use ACB here. If I go to ACB and take a look at it, okay, $8-9. Is that reasonable? Do I see that being reasonable for SNDL? Yeah. I think $8-9 could be reasonable, which would leave me, I've got a $2 average. That would, that's a 400% gain. I'll hold that. I'll hold that. But you're down 10 grand. I'm okay with that. Because I don't see it down 10 grand, right? I see it up 80. Now, there's a lot of people that will come in and say, that's crazy what you're doing because you're not taking into account the size of the float, the market cap, the valuation. You're not taking into account their financials. You're not taking into account this and that and the other thing. It's like, okay, I understand that. But there's no trading methodology in the world that takes into account every factor. There isn't. It just doesn't exist. There's no... There are... What am I doing? I am sitting here watching the market weep at what's going on in their portfolio, and explaining why I'm not leaving. I'm up 5.5% today. Not bad. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take 5.5% on a day. All right, guys. It's 10 o'clock, so let's move into... If you guys have tickers you want me to take a look at, I will do my best to get through all of your tickers. So go ahead and put that in. I'm going to grab a coffee. I'm going to grab a water. And when I come back, all the tickers that are in the chat, I will guarantee you that I take a look at, give you my breakdown, my thought process on. If you are not on Twitch, don't worry about it. If you're over on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, if you have a ticker that you want me to take a look at and give you my feedback on, I do have a restream chat up. I can see your ticker suggestions, so I will be there, okay? So just take a look. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that's great news for ACRX. They need to actually start selling things. My biggest piss off with ACRX is Vince doesn't have the sales team from Zimmer Biomet trained, and he should. No recommendations from chat on gambling for sure. Gambling is not a great idea. Especially on debt. How's my portfolio looking? I am currently down 32%. I'm up almost 5% today, but down 32%. Yeah, ZOM's coming back up. That's where I'm seeing most of my gains on the day. FTOC a little bit, but ZOM is the gains that I'm having on the day. TDDI, XXII. I really like Evernote. I've used it for years. The latest updates to it are really good. So I'm a big fan of it. I like that it's easily shareable. I like all kinds of stuff. So I like it. I like it as a tool. I'm a big fan. I do pay for the premium version of it so that I have access to some extra bells and whistles, but I think it's definitely worth it. Oh, Tom.ol is the stock. I'll try to look it up, but I like Evernote. We did look at Notion. Martini's chat was using Notion for a while. There are a lot of cool features in Notion that Evernote doesn't have. I find that Notion is not just a journaling tool, but also a calendar tool in many aspects. This is more strictly a journaling tool. Snickerbot, thanks for the follow, man. It's in Norway. Okay, I will do my best with foreign stocks, guys, but I would suspect that there's takeover talks already in place, that they're already at the table having those discussions, and the initial sales orders that have come in are part of those discussions already. I imagine that if we see a buyout, it will be somewhere in the $5 to $8 range. I would be ambitious to say the $8 to $10 range, but $5 to $8 would be great. Whatever the buyout is on it, great. If they're going to give me holdings in whatever company's going to buy them, so if it's going to give me a percentage holding in Chewy or whatever, that may be of interest in me holding through it, or I may just sell it when it gets up to that point and move on. But yeah. Yeah, list management, journaling is good. Project flow, it's not so great for that. So Saber. I am in Saber calls. All right, let's start breaking this stuff down here, guys. BDGR. Woof. Ooh, it's a $0. It's a $0. So this is what we call, guys, a caveat emptor. Okay, so this is a caveat emptor OTC stock pink sheet. This means buyer beware. Okay. Oil and natural gas play in this market, declining revenues like this, I want nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. This is just gross. Everything that I see here. Hard pass. Sun W. Sunworks, solar energy. Solar energy is going to be strong into Biden's spending and infrastructure into the summer. They've got declining revenues, but I think this year you'll see with government spending, this probably goes back up to 80 million. I'd set a price target of somewhere between $15 and $16 on a 12-month with this. Let's see how close I get to the actual analysts that put things out. One analyst on it with a hold at 80. 80 cents. Okay, so I'm way off the analyst target on this. I completely disagree with where his numbers are at on this, but okay. I wonder. SHG. Yeah, so this has SHG is looking to double over the next 12 months, which is interesting. SNDL is probably going to be brutal analysis on it, right? Downside target. Zomedica. Downside target. FTOC. No analyst ratings on FTOC. All right, interesting. Yeah, so Sun W, guys, it's a solar eco play. Into the summer and spring, I think it's going to be solid. VBHI. Verdi Bio. 2-cent stock. I wouldn't touch a bio stock at this level. Now, that being said, guys, when you're looking at a bio stock, the first thing that you should be doing is Verde Bio. This is not a bio stock. This is an oil stock. Website's not even filled out. So they are newly pivoted into the oil sector. This is really scary, guys. I would not go anywhere near this. They have recently pivoted into the oil sector with Biden cutting the legs out from underneath oil. This is a caveat emptor. I wouldn't go near it. I don't know why anybody would be trying to get into oil right now. There is such an obscene global glut of oil at the moment. To get into it is just absurdity to me. It's cheap. Okay. I guess that's true. It's cheap. But the reason why they're cheap is they're transitioning into this out of being unsuccessful in whatever that company was before. And I'm not. When a company can't run a company in the sector that it's supposed to be in, and then it shifts like that, I don't know. Yeah, that's first dad syndrome. Tell him Millennial says those are rookie numbers. You got one kid. Okay, Namaste Technologies. This is a pot play. What's their ticker? NXTTF. I can't watch this. I want to, but I can't because the audio is probably our brands. Company overview. This is looking to brand itself more as a social health thing than just a pot thing. But there's a lot of pot here. CanMart, first licensed non-cultivator. So they just sell pot at CanMart. So it's an online sales platform. Namaste MD is a medical practitioner. Australian Vaporizer, so they're selling some stuff. Ultimate Cannabis Journal. For anyone desiring to get the very best from their medical cannabis, precisely record and monitor. So this is a monitoring tool for if you take it. So guys, I can speak with some authority on this. I am somebody who is prescribed medical cannabis. I have a prescription for my PTSD, so I can speak with some clarity on this. There are dozens of medical purchasers that we can buy from. I have never heard of this one. I would not shift off of Organigram. That is the one that I have used nearly from the get-go. And in no way would I switch from them. I just dropped a metal pin somewhere, and I don't know where it is. And that's going to come back to get me, I think, in the future. I would hate to sit on that or step on it. I don't see it. Dagnabbit. Well, that'll hurt. And now I'm going to step on that at the worst time, too. Oh, well. Anyways, as somebody who has medical pot, takes medical pot on prescription, I would not switch off of Organogram. I love what Organogram does. As far as Namaste MD, I have a company that I already work with. I got my prescription through that. Most physicians now are coming around to prescribing, so you don't need to have that. As far as buying vapes, they're targeting affluent 25 to 45-year-olds. So millennials with lots of money is what they're hoping to target in the UK and Canada. How many millennials with a lot of money do you know out there? Australian vaporizers. This is just to give them exposure to the Australian market. I don't hate that play, but I don't really know what pot is doing down under. And then a journal to keep track of my pot. No, I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Don't like it, wouldn't use it. They're targeting 25 to 45-year-olds. That's millennials. Affluent 25 to 45-year-olds. They're looking for rich millennials. So of all of these products, guys, the only ones that I'm like, maybe, CanMart and Australian vaporizers. But there's nothing out there that is exclusive on them. So I'm going to go with no, thank you. GTEH is next. Let's go there. Another 0-cent stock, Gentech. Hemp Apparel. Based in New York. Look at that revenue decline. They didn't even file over the last 2 years. This is another caveat emptor, guys. FLT on the TSX. Flow Traders, is that the one? FLTDF. Drone delivery company, this is the one? Are they even on the US OTC? Drone delivery. Yeah. So there's the, yeah, they are. They are. Takeoff. That's clever. Takeoff is TLF. So you can buy these OTC, guys. It's $1. They're inking a lot of deals through December into the next year, so that's good. Revenue projections look really solid. I like this. This is a drone play that's making sales. I like it. Really solid drone play. Put money here. Those notes are just for myself. That's not advice for you guys to do that. I like what I'm seeing there. Low cost play. It's Canadian based. Drone delivery is going to be something that can happen here a lot easier than elsewhere. A lot less regulation around it. That it's got contracts where people are buying it up. I think that there's a great opportunity in FLT. That looks fantastic. Nice pick. ICBU. IMD companies. This is a 3-cent stock. US pop market. Hydroponic growth. So they focus on the growth side, the agriculture side. Hydroponics is not limited to pot, but there will be an uptick in it. There's money to be made here for sure, but they are operating out of Tampa. I would rather see something like this out of Oregon or the Midwest. Yeah, it'll probably move DGLY. You may see him mention Biden Care, which may move health stocks. He will probably mention the New Green Deal or whatever the hell he wants to call it, so that may move that. But gun violence is definitely going to be something in there. Now, whether he does an executive order off this or not, who knows? But there's definitely going to be some effect on gun stocks today as a result of this. I would stay away from this, guys. There's other opportunities for sure in this sector. I don't see any reason to be running off of this one. It's tripled in value, but that's from a penny to 3. I really, when you guys look at this and you look at there's no revenue, it's just not financials, revenues, nothing listed. Knowledge is power, and if the company's not going to give you the knowledge to trade them, then I would stay away. SPFR. Jaws Spitfire acquisition. What's the rumor? What are they looking to acquire? Velo 3D printing. There's lots of players that have come and gone in the 3D printing sector, guys. I am not bullish on that sector at the moment. Until they start to use it in industry, building houses and buildings, I'm not really in on it. So it's a 3D printing play. It's a pass for me. SOS, this is one of the meme stocks that's been out there for sure. Let's take a look if it's a real company or not. Software for digital asset exchange. Okay, so we're moving into digital assets. It's NFTs and crypto. Where is this thing based out of? China. Chinese crypto. I'm going to pass on Chinese crypto. Then I would invest in the company that's doing a 3D printer on a building. I think that's where that sector really sees growth, is the ability to print buildings or cars. Can you imagine being able to just 3D print a car? Fully functional, electrical, all of that. That would be that's when I start to see money in it, when there's practical application, not just 3D printing sculptures and busts and gimmicks, and it has to turn out of a hobby into an industry. Yeah, Chinese crypto, I'm not going to go anywhere near. We've seen how the government can just take hold of whatever it wants. On top of that, they are looking to push their own currency and deflate the others. So as for me, I'm going to stay away from that one. Some people are a little bit more inclined to the Chinese stocks. Power to you. This is the Mortgage Trust. Blackstone Mortgage Trust, real estate finance company, originates senior loans collateralized by commercial properties in North America. Company operates as a real estate investment trust for federal income tax purposes, it generally would not be subject to U.S. federal income taxes if it distributes at least 9% of its taxable income to its stockholders. So that's a benefit, because if it makes income, they give it out to your they give it out to the stock payers. They pay it back, or stockholders. They pay it back to you. It's not terrible. It's founded in New York, so I imagine they do have quite a bit of holdings in that. Of course, they are forecasting 2021, 2022 to see great returns. That's when the moratorium ends and they're able to start collecting on all this owed money. It's not a terrible play. I don't hate it. The growth on it, I would say we probably see it go back towards this $40 mark. Not much beyond that, though. Oh, cool. I want to watch that, but it's going to cuck me on the audio, I feel like. A proprietary extrudable concrete. So they've got a concrete that pours out of this thing. Makes for very heavy houses. Interesting. I don't hate that community. It makes it flat for solar panels. I don't hate that. It wouldn't really work well in Canada. You would have to have a slanted roof for sure for all the snow, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but like this is the direction we're heading. This isn't mass adoption, right? They're in Series A funding. They've built 4 houses. That's what I'm getting at. Is like when this becomes industrial standard, I'll look for an early adopter when we start to see states applying this 3D printing concept a little bit more rapidly. The tech is there, the adoption is not. Um, there's a lot of issues with 3D house printing still to be overcome. So when you see solutions that work in California, New Mexico, Texas, it's kind of funny because in California, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, kind of those southern states, all it has to do really is becoming doesn't really need insulation. I mean, yeah, everybody would say, well, look at what just happened in Texas. Of course it needs insulation. Well, yeah, but it's not required by the state for them to have that in there. So house building in those southern states is relatively easy. It just needs to stay in the ground. It needs a foundation, and not even a deep foundation. It just needs a foundation. It needs to be earthquake proof, but if you're building with concrete, it should be fine. So for me, like that's kind of where that is. But as you move north, like you can't, the insulation aspect of it would be interesting for me. I would want to see a company that's doing 3D printing, but they also have ties to hemp insulation, something of that nature, right? Because insulation is going to be key as you move north, and concrete housing is not going to do the job. So, yeah, it's just an evolving industry. It's not there yet for me. It's not that I hate to play forever. It's I hate to play now. With this one here, guys, if from 30 to 40 is enough milk for you, I think there's potential in this. It's outside of my pricing for equity. I don't play $30 equity, but if you're interested in it, it's definitely a play. It's a play is the best I can put here. Just not for me. MBII. MFA would probably be the one that I look at there, guys. If I was looking at recovery, this would probably be the one that I look at. Double up. MBII. Marone Bio. Revenue projections for growth based off of fungicides, insecticides, molluscides, it's a bunch of poison. Pest management, planet health. So one of my issues with this, guys, and the reason why the larger companies like Monsanto use the poisons that they do is that they're cheap. So let's go here and see what their last earnings was. They missed on revenue. Yo, what's up, Rounds? Thanks so much for the follow, guys. Let me know how you found the channel, what it is you trade. They're up 30% year over year, though. That's not terrible. For an agro company, that's not terrible. I don't hate that. Reduce operating expenses, I don't hate that. Improvement on product mix, I don't hate that. Let's go to the transcripts. Okay, so guys, it is of value to sit through an entire earnings call and learn how to do that and look through the reporting and the earnings and all that. I'm not opposed to any of that. But what I want to do, if you want to cut to the meat and potatoes of any earnings call, go right to the end to the Q&A, okay? This is where the analysts that know the stock better than you do are asking the questions that are most relevant, okay? This is where you're going to learn where the analysts are focusing, and this is what's going to happen. SPACs like to keep dying, yeah. Really good about 2021. There's a lot of things in the market. Okay, the question was, unusual weather patterns. What kind of growth rate do you think normalized growth would have looked like in 2021 in the outlook? Feeling good about it. By the way, projecting revenue growth in the mid 20% range year over year and continuing to drive 50% gross margin. Okay, so that's not terrible. 20% growth rate year over year. So he's saying you're one of the biggest beasts in this sector already. What makes you think you continue to grow at that pace? They're looking at global, so they're looking to go international outside of the US, which is really, really smart. If you can move into Europe with this kind of stuff is, this pesticide-free movement is huge in Europe, especially countries like France and Spain. They are big, 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 big on this. So that's good to see. He's not expecting a slowdown in innovation, so R&D spending is going to be big. Watch R&D spending for these guys. Row crops versus non-row crops. So what she's asking is, you know, corn, potatoes, wheat versus something like grape, or even grapes is a row crop, versus something like bananas, nuts, coconuts. Even those in many aspects are still rows, but yeah, it's looking, yeah, it looks like a 10-year hold. If you're looking for a 10-year hold, this doesn't look terrible. 100 million in revenue by 2030. I don't think it's terrible. It's an agro play. It's a modern agro play. AbbVie is a major player in the biosector, guys. For those of you that have never traded bio, AbbVie is one of the ones that you're going to get to know. Biogen is another one that you guys are going to get to know. It's just a big beast in the biosector. Now, the drug pricing from Bernie Sanders has got a lot of the companies worried here, where the state may start to regulate purchasing of prescriptions on behalf of Medicaid. They're looking at a $5 billion sale in women's drugs. This is I mean, be very, very cautious with this. Be very cautious, okay? It has recovered from COVID lows. It's close to all-time highs. If this Democrat push on pharma legislation happens, it's going to be really bad news for companies like AbbVie. So please be careful with this. Typically, I would say AbbVie. Back in March, I was a firm advocate of AbbVie when it was down at like $60. But now, when it's up at 100, just be careful. Is all I'm going to say. Be very, very careful. Sanders could just kill that. Okay. Okay. Tom.ol. Tomra Systems Recycling Company. This is a big beast. This is a big beast. What's the pharma legislation? They're looking to allow purchase of medication from Canada and Mexico. They're looking to allow Medicaid to negotiate as a single entity instead of a state-by-state entity with all of the pharmaceutical producers. And they're also allowing them to set a reasonable pricing. Whenever you see reasonable pricing, that's a subjective decision based off of government litigation, which is scary for a for-profit healthcare industry. So this is a declining ticker, guys. Tomra, it's on the Oslo market, so I can't really trade it if I wanted to. I think there are a lot better plays than this in recycling. PCT is one that comes to mind. It's stateside. It's something you can easily trade if you're looking for something in states. I can't really speak to whether or not I see that going, but PureCycle is a plastics recyclable at $30 that has a huge potential, I think. So this would be the one that I kind of focus on more if I was going to play into this sector. I would look for something stateside that's doing great jobs in recycling. This is plastic recycling specifically, but I think PCT would be the play that I look at for something similar in that sector for sure. TTGI. Nothing coming up. TTGI. Is this the one you want? This TTR thing? I don't know who put TTGI out there, but I need to know if this is it. Titanium transportation, is that what we're looking at? Good revenue growth projections on this, guys. It's a transportation business. I'm not opposed to that. I think it's going to be a strong sector. They are near all-time highs. I think there's a good opportunity for growth. Let's see their Q4 results. Revenue of 66 million, up 52% year over year. They're forecasting another. Well, they're forecasting nearly 100% growth into this year, but that makes sense as we open up. I don't hate this play. I don't hate it. This is a shipping play. Okay, XXII. 22nd Century Group. Plant-based solutions for life science, consumer product, pharmaceutical markets, low nicotine content tobacco cigarette product. This would be a buyout. Revenue is relatively level. I think with XXII, what you're looking for is an acquisition from somebody like Philip Morris or Afria or BTI, something of that nature, I think is what you're looking at. The tobacco sector is declining, in my opinion, over the 10 years. This is hit 6 at the high, fallen, come back to 4, fallen, come back to 4, fallen. Unless there's an acquisition in play, this is not a huge play in my books. It is good that the class action lawsuit was dismissed against them. However, really small revenues here, guys. $7 million. This is a nothing. This is low revenue inside a declining sector. Not for me. unless there are rumors of acquisition. FRSX. That would be my only caveat to that is if there are rumors of acquisition by a bigger player, then yeah, clearly there's some value in the acquisition, but that would be it. FRSX. It's looking like it's a coin mining. Foresight Autonomous Holdings. No, it's not. Okay, technology company designs, develops, commercializes sensor systems for automotive industry. This is important for sure. It's based out of Israel. This is kind of what BlackBerry does, and so for me with FRSX, is there opportunity here? Absolutely, but the current name in this in North America is BlackBerry. I would trade BlackBerry instead of FRSX. I think BlackBerry has a greater potential, especially with their fingers in the pies with Amazon already and Google already, and automated driving paired with their sensors and their computer dashboards. I honestly think BlackBerry is going to be the stronger play of the two. That's my personal opinion on that. Now, Sabre, guys, Sabre is travel technology. This is for travel companies, airlines, cruise lines, anything that does hotels, car rentals. Obviously, they took a big hit on the year, but there's forecasts for growth over the next 2 years. That just makes sense at $14. This thing used to be up around 20. I think travel sector is going to come back very, very, very strong. People are just going to be desperate to get out and travel again, and that's 5 years from now, 3 years, 4 years from now. But when it does, expect this to hit all-time highs, is my opinion. So short term, I like it on recovery. I do. Long term, I like it even more. GME is back up to 140. No, that's affecting everybody. Let's take some hate here. Going to put that out. CIDM is officially doing that. I like CIDM as a entertainment company. I don't really care about NFTs. NFTs are definitely affecting its current stock price, but that's it. All right, guys, that's it. We made it through the list of tickers. I hope everybody got some value from that. I got a message here from Jeff Barry. Okay, that's a nothing. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing day. That's it for me today. I will be back tomorrow. It's Friday. It'll be a wild ride. Portfolio, as of right now, as we head into the end of the day, it's up 2.5%. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I know a lot of people out there talking about, are you going to diamond hands this? What are you going to do? I am personally going to trade the catalyst that I have been waiting for, and I am resolved to do that. Martini, several other people have said you've got to come to your own decisions on how you're going to play this. You're either going to hold it, you're going to switch to a short strategy, or you're just going to step out of the market. I'm not going to step out of the market. I am not going to switch to a short strategy. I'm going to hold on catalysts that I am forecasting until I see that stopping being profitable. I am still up 20 grand on the year, which is nothing to be shy at with a 50 grand start. We are only in March. There's a lot of opportunity. For me, I am in that hodl gang on my positions. Now, there are positions out there that I would not be in hodl mode on, but that's that. Have an amazing day, guys. I will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., doing the same thing with you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. As for right now, let's head on over. I don't think Martini is streaming, so let's go pay Papa Stocky a visit.
Are you eating downstairs or something?
I'm taking Mom for a date. So go tell mommy, because I think she may have forgot. See, daddy's taking you out for lunch.